Man, so are you telling me that Jeremy Sochan caught strays? Is that what
Yeah.
that
Wait,
is?
it
From
wasn't
from,
even
from,
strays. It
from
was
his
it
own.
was direct. Yeah, it was direct shots, bro. It wasn't even strays.
It was just saying he
Wow.
needs to work on his shot. We'll talk about it, bro. Like, no lies detected.
I mean, constructive criticism.
Yeah. No
I
lies
mean,
detected.
kind of stating the obvious a little bit, you know?
Hey
Also
man,
facts.
Rick,
Also facts.
you're gonna be traveling more to go and see the Spurs play and all that.
Oh,
You're gonna take the belt.
of course, absolutely. The belt will be making its appearance this year at games. We could talk about that later on in the show. But yeah, the belt will be making its appearance
Hell
at
yeah.
several arenas.
But that Hooper Flash is joining us today. We've got Jay Perez joining us. And Joy-Con Drift is saying
What's up? What's
it's
up?
Friday and we hoop it.
What's up? What's up to everybody in the chat? Appreciate y'all.
Is Hooper Flash is saying that belt is iconic, Rick.
It is.
I appreciate that, Hooper.
Rick
It
is the
is, bro.
people's
It's
champ.
sick, bro. That belt, I'm telling you, I only took it to Vegas to the Summer League. Is the first time I got to unveil it, and that was Vegas. It wasn't even like Spurs fans, right? So everybody was like, "Man, what's up with that belt?" It got so much attention. So I can't imagine like at an actual Spurs game, or even an away at away or the Frostbank. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I even showed it to RC and Brian Wright and Mitch. They saw it.
Let's go.
What's up? What's up, Albert Lopez?
Where the dreams don't fade from the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210. Oh, it's the life that we chose.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. My name is Mike Jimenez. Joe Garcia is with us today, as always. He's our co-host. Also in the mix, in the middle, Spernandez. You know him, you love him. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps retired. Spernandez, how you doing, my man?
Hey, I'm good, brother. Thank you guys for having me on. Shout out to everybody in the chat, JHNSB, Albert Lopez, and everybody else, Hooper Flash. It's good to be here, guys.
It is Friday, and we what?
We don't give a
We don't give a
damn.
damn.
We don't give a
But you
damn.
know,
So what
It's
what's
also
in the,
one more thing, Mike.
What's up?
It's also Friday. You know what we do?
It's Friday and I'm broke. My check better not be short.
Yeah, some people get paid on the 1st and the 15th, right? And some people get paid every other Friday.
There you go.
That's what that's up. What do you got in the cup there, Spernandez?
Oh man, you already know what it is. It's you got the mimosas going, baby. You got the mimosas. Got
Check
a
out my-
splash of juice.
If you can't see my shirt, it's a bunch of martini glasses, right?
I love it. I love it. Yep. I got the trust no bitch shirt. You know, you already know what it is. Appreciate the shout out there for the love, July.
Let me pour myself a drink real fast because again, it's Friday. We don't give a damn.
There you go. There we go. I like
What
that.
you drinking
I like
on,
that.
Mike? I know you ain't drinking on no alcohol.
Hey,
Oh,
okay, I like it. Demon Mike.
A little,
Demon Mike.
a little bullet in the morning never hurt nobody. It doesn't, you know. I usually
Hey,
have
I like
bullet.
that.
I usually have bullet
like
at the golf course, man. So
I like it. I like it. We're gonna talk about it later because Mike has some victory laps because he was right once again about some certain things. So we'll talk about that.
you know, the belief on Spurs Twitter is that I'm a complete idiot, right? That's the belief. Even though I bat like 800 when it comes to the Spurs, even though I provide the bona fides out there about how I was right about the Spurs when it comes to the draft and when it comes to tanking and when it comes to pop and when it comes to all those things. And now I'm right about Project Marvel, and people are acting like they're surprised. Why are you surprised? You watch this podcast, 2,500 subscribers strong, you'll realize that Joe and I are right more often than not. And it's not like we bat 500. We bet 800 and 900 in this bitch. That is what we do over here. We get things right the first time.
You know, I'm sorry to interrupt, bro, but you're right. I don't disagree with you, but I think what the problem is when you're wrong, you're wrong. You know what I mean? So that's what sticks out in people's head, bros. But you're right. I would say this, and I used to tell people this. I said if I didn't know Mike Jimenez personally, I would think he's not a real person sometimes. Some of the shit that he says, some of his antics, but I know you personally. I consider you my
Puro
friend.
mamadas.
Well, yeah, we text offline, and you're a good dude, man. But there are times where I'm like, you're testing me, brother. You're testing me. So when you're wrong, you're wrong, but yeah, man, you've been right a lot lately, brother.
Look
I
at
give
this,
you that
Rick.
one.
I go down in
This is a
flames.
comment geared towards
Mhm.
you right here. If you know, you know, you know.
Hey, oh, all right, you already know, bro. Hey, man, alcoholics go to meetings, bro. That's the difference, bro. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
he's referring to your boy. What's his name? What's his name? Gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Gone.
yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Mhm.
He's saying you don't give a damn, but don't give a damn.
Oh, you already know. Oh, you already know. You already know. Shout out
Yeah,
to
he's
Mark
talking about
Cavazos,
the
man.
Drew show. He's talking about
Oh,
the
I
Drew
know.
show.
Yeah,
But look
man.
at
Haven't
that.
haven't seen him lately. You know.
Sam
So-
Selena says, "Where's the BBD, Joe? Pour yourself a glass." Hell, damn no.
Hey.
So we're joined by Fernandez and Joe Garcia. We're going to be talking a lot today about who's the more evil Jones. Choose your fighter, or which fighter would you not want around anymore, right? Now, wait. I got to backtrack. I don't want police coming after me. I'm not
Mhm.
advocating
Be
killing
careful.
anybody, okay?
Yeah, be careful with your words. Words mean
Who-
things.
Who is the one you want? What's the word? Gone, right?
Yeah.
Out of office, out of power, okay? Gina Ortiz Jones, the new mayor of San Antonio, who's kind of, trying to pump the brakes on Project Marvel,
La tonta.
or Jerry Jones, who's led the Cowboys for, I don't know, more than 30 years, 35 years or so there in Dallas. We're going to get into that. Michael Carlos shouted me out from the San Antonio Current. He has a new article
In
coming
a
out
positive
today.
light.
Mhm.
Really, if he's referring to me as Miguelito, is it really a
Miguelito.
positive light?
Yeah, it's me. That's positive. When you wear Lululemon, you're Miguelito.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We're talking about Puro, right? We're talking about Puro.
Puro, yeah.
Yeah.
Puro.
Puro, yeah. Dude, the second I saw you write down Puro,
Oh,
I laughed
man.
my ass.
I lost Puro. I was watching that show, and it was a good show, by the way. And I like that guy, man. He's a smart dude, man. I like his insights and stuff. But yeah, the moment he said Puro, man, I lost it, bro. I lost it, but you were owning him that day, bro. I thought that looked like the 1-0 Fiesta fight. Because you were owning you were owning that dude. Yeah, he didn't have no retorts, He was just like, oh damn,
I brought up something that he hadn't thought of, which was politics get involved,
Yeah.
right? Confirmation bias. So, Joe, if you want to go on to that excerpt from our show that I posted a couple of minutes ago on Twitter, talking about it's a 1 minute little take that we had. There was it was a back and forth between me and Michael Carlos about it. And Michael Carlos is saying, what is wrong with getting a second opinion? That's what Gina Ortiz Jones wants, the new mayor of the Spurs, because she believes that it's going to cost more money. It's going to do economic damage or whatever the case may be. She's saying due diligence is required, right? But this was the debate that we had, a portion of the debate. And I told him that anything that we're going to get from her is going to be BS and can't be trusted. And here's why.
Pinche Michael Carlos, aka Puro.
AKA Pure.
AKA Puro. Yeah.
Build it if you can pay for it, and why not get a second opinion on the impacts and whether this is a good financial investment or not.
Okay, so do you want the Spurs to pick that person or Gina Jones or Gina Ortiz Jones? Because again,
I don't want the Spurs to pick them. The Spurs.
Well, I don't want her.
Already picked their guy.
I don't want to pick. I don't want her. Why? But again, you never answered this question. Why would I believe what her person says?
Because they're not owned by the Spurs.
But if they're
they don't own part of the team. That's why I would.
But if you do the journalistic work and you find out that they are donors, or they are part of a party, or they donate to a party, at some point you're going to find she's not going to go on to the yellow pages, right? Which doesn't exist anymore. But she's not going to go on to the yellow pages and go, which company should I go? This one looks good. I'm going to personally vet this one. And I'm going to find this company over here, and then this company did this one. She's not going to do that. She's going to go to her political party and say, "Find me the one that's going to give the answers that I want. Give me the confirmation bias that I want and need as political fire." Because one thing I cannot say is I was wrong. That was on the show on Tuesday on the Area 210 podcast, talking to Michael Carlos of the San Antonio Current. He comes out and says, groan or sigh, Miguelito might have been right. You want to check out his next article when it comes to it all. Saying, quote, let's see here. What did he say here? He says, basically, he just said, sigh. I cannot believe Mike was right about this. Check out my new article when it comes to it all. It's going to drop sometime today. Also goes on to say, by the way, that overnight, Mayor Ortiz Jones surrendered in her crusade, as he says, to change council consideration requests brought to the dais. Goes on to say that her decision comes after an embarrassing city hall meeting in which her leadership style was compared to who? Kawhi Leonard.
Judas. They called
You
her
can't
Judas,
make-
bro.
You can't make this shit up, man.
She
You know?
tried to change the rules of how the whole city hall functions, try to do it
Mhm.
unilaterally.
Mhm.
And they're like, wait a minute, that's not it, man. It's funny because we see politics right now, and this is the thing. We see politics right now with what's going on in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., you have Trump as president. He's wielding a lot of power because he's using a lot of political pressure, executive orders and things like that. And basically he's in charge of the federal government, and now he's pressuring the legislature to do his bidding, right? I think she's trying to do the same in San Antonio city politics, but it doesn't work that way.
Damn.
She's essentially a glorified council member. That's the power that she has. The governor of Texas has very little power. I don't know if you realize that. Greg Abbott has almost zero power. It's Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, who has all the power in the state of Texas. The governor is a figurehead. The mayor is a figurehead. And right now, essentially, you have 10 city council members, but what it really is an 11th one being the mayor, kind of like an at-large bid when it comes to it all. The mayor in San Antonio does not have the power of the city manager, does not have the power of all the other council members out there. And what you're seeing right now is all the other council members are ganging up on her.
Look at what Puro put out.
Yeah, that's just that she surrendered because she was basically saying, I know what's right. We got to change the way that we're doing things. And you had other council members coming out and saying, you've never been here. You've never been part of council. Why don't you sit here and learn for 6 months how things work before trying to change it to what you want? Because we're under a different program over here, a different system. Why don't you just sit there, learn on the job, figure out what works and what doesn't work, and then make changes, as opposed to walking in day one and try to make changes? And what did what finger did the city council give her? Did they give her the thumb?
Give her the middle finger, bro.
They gave her the middle finger. She's a lame duck mayor.
Yeah,
And people don't like her.
Yeah, can I chime in, Mike, about
Yeah.
and I think so. Listen, I'm not here. I'm not gonna bash the mayor. I'm really not. I understand she has a tough job to do and all that kind of stuff. What I will say is, again, I'm a 20-year Marine veteran. I'm a Marine officer. She's a Air Force veteran, right? And this is kind of this happens sometimes in the military. Like hearing what you're saying, and I've been thinking about this. This is kind of like I'll give you an example. Like when you're a new officer or captain, whatever, you go to a new unit, you show up and you're in charge, but like you say, you're more of a figurehead, right? Because you have all your leaders that are below you, uh, um but they've been like running the day-to-day operations, right? They've been there, they've been grinding, the E7s, the E8s, and those that know military know what I'm talking about, right? The E7s, E8s, the sergeants, they've been grinding, they've been running the show. You show up as the new boss, the new captain, the new colonel, whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm big dick now. Okay, now there's two approaches. One is show up, kind of be quiet, observe, watch, for the first 30 days or whatever, just kind of see what goes on, learn, bring in your trusted council members. Hey, tell me what's good, what's bad, what can I fix? I'm here for you guys. Like that's one way to come in, right? As a leader, like I'm servant leadership. Like, yes, I'm the boss on paper, but you guys run the show. You know what I mean? I'm just here to kind of put a bow on what you guys are doing, right? And I have known that to be a better approach because now your people are kind of buying in. They're like, okay, cool. This person is willing to listen. They're willing to learn. They're willing to kind of grasp what's going on. Now, the other approach, which is the one that Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones is doing, is like, I'm here I'm changing this. I don't like that. Everything y'all got been doing is garbage. Y'all, and we're gonna tighten things up. I read it's not even just the Spurs stuff. Like I remember reading that when she first got there, she was implementing all these like, you will address me as mayor, and even if you're talking about me in a without me around, I will always be addressed as mayor. Like little kind of things, kind of like getting back to like um customs and courtesies, which may be
Right.
lacking in the council. Maybe they do need a little tightening. I'm not saying that they don't. I don't know. I'm just saying like this reminds me of those military approaches where you show up to a unit and you start seeing like, man, they need to tighten up a little bit. Everybody's a little too relaxed. Now, she kind of came in with a hammer, like I'm the mayor and you guys are gonna do what I say and that's it. And again, like if you were a captain or a colonel that came to a new unit and did that, your Marines or your soldiers or whatever would be like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, okay. And then behind your back, be like, whatever. We're gonna stay together, stay strong, and basically take away any power you have because the power is in the masses, right?
Right.
So that's basically what I think is what's happening there. I think she's a smart woman. I really do, and I think she's a smart woman. He comes, I think she has those DC politics down, and she may be a better player in DC, or she may have a better success rate out there. I think she's just out of her depth and she's out of her waters here. It's apples and oranges.
Right.
So
Look at Tony
her
Ornelas.
approach,
Look at what he
her
said
approach
here.
was just wrong. I think her approach was wrong.
Tony Ornelas said something. He says, she is John J. Mustang graduate of class of 99, if I'm mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. She is Marbach Nice and ate at Fred's Fish Fry. But here's the thing with her. She's not one of us. And everybody knows this because she's run for office for city council here, in the respective district or whatever she was running for more than once. And she's lost every single time. This last time that she ran, she was running for mayor this time. She's like, you know what? F that. I don't want to go ahead and have a seat on the council or whatever and be in charge of a district. I'm gonna go for the big prize. I'm gonna go for the seat of the mayor. She won. There was a low voter turnout. Nobody's got anybody to blame but themselves for not voting. Because you guys are the ones that voted her in. Now everybody's against her and they don't like DC Gina.
Yeah,
You didn't like her and you already knew where she was coming from. Why didn't you vote her in?
she is a John Jay grad, and I believe I know of her. I don't know her personally, but I know friends. We have common friends. I know people that know her sister. I want to say she was like a freshman or I'm sorry, she was a senior when I was a freshman at John Jay. So I do know the name and the face, and I remember her. I don't ever remember like interacting with her personally, like at John Jay, but she was a couple of years older than me. So I want to say she might have been a senior when I was a freshman, or maybe even when I was still in eighth grade. But again, Marbach, Heritage area, people know each other, whatever. So I do know her, and I do remember her from high school days or whatever. And of course, after she left John Jay, she went off to college and then went to the Air Force and spent a lot of time in DC. You know, like I said, man, I'm not really trying to bash her, and I want to think she has good intentions. Like I want to think I mean, her job is to do due diligence and to make sure that the city isn't going to be bankrupt from Project Marvel and all that. I don't even have a problem with her wanting to do due diligence and wanting to have more data. Of course, this is a multifaceted, program, the whole Project Marvel thing. So of course you're gonna want to have, your dot, your lowercase j's dotted and your t's crossed and all that. But I'm interested to see. Okay, so the independent study, we could talk about that because Mike made a good point on Tuesday where he said, they're throwing shade at the study that was done recently. Oh,
Yeah.
somewhere down the line, 20%, and somehow, some way, they're connected to the Spurs ownership group, which is a fact. Let's put that out there, right? Now, so implying that, of course, they're gonna say that it's all good to go for the Spurs, and she wants an independent study to see what they say. Mike's point, which is a good one, it seems like she wants a study to basically corroborate what she's already saying, what her narrative is, so she can now point to the study and say, hey, this Philadelphia study did it, and they're saying it's not a good economic thing, which is what I've been saying, right? Um, we wanted to think that she just had a wholesome approach, but according to our good friend at the Current, he says he has some info that the story's going to come out soon that maybe Mike was right. I'm wondering if that independent company is tied to her somehow politically or some kind of connection.
Look at Tony Ornelas says again. He says she just wants the project organized. She has a master's in economics, so she wants more details for the analysts, for analysts, so to analyze basically. Man, Tony over here standing up for her like that. That's his side piece, man. Like I mean I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
And look at what Mansfield Drummer says.
Is that Tony Ornelas or Mike Taylor? Like,
hey,
oh,
one and the same.
Our good friend Mike fell for that trap all over there. We love Mike Taylor, but he was saying that he wants an independent study also. The problem that I have is that there's sides to every study these days. We live in a world of confirmation bias. When people want to learn about politics, if you're conservative, you go to Newsmax and Fox News Channel. If you're liberal, you go to MSNBC. You don't want to hear actual real data. You want to hear a confirmation bias of what you already believe. You get in your feelings. You want a confirmation of that. That's the point I was trying to make. And
why does she have to pay $100,000 for that? Is Project Marvel a good thing for the city? Yes. I don't need to pay $100,000 for that. That's stupid.
You know what it's like, Mike? You know what it's like? It's like, it's like a girl, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but let's say you're a girl and a guy in a relationship, and the girl is like, this guy's a jerk, he's an a-hole, he's this, he's that. What does she do? She go to her friends and she tells them the story, right?
From her point of view.
And from her point of view, she tells her friends her side for what? For validation, right? So and a guy can do it too. I'm not just bashing on females, but yeah, you go to your you go to your circle and tell them, oh, this is what happened, and they tell you, girl, you were right, he's wrong. And if you feel better, right? You get that confirmation that it doesn't matter about facts. Facts, like you said, we live in a time and in a generation where facts are a relic of the past. Nobody cares about facts. If I have a certain opinion and a bias, I will find a study, a data, a news outlet, a podcast that agrees with me, and then I can point to that and say, you see, I told you I was right. No matter which side you are on about it. And it's the same thing with politics in the biggest levels, like with Trump and all that. It's not about facts, like Mike said. It's about confirmation bias of, I don't want to be wrong, and I want to point to a study or something that shows, for every data that says A, I'll show you another data that says B.
Well, I look at it this way. Gina Ortiz Jones is somebody who wanted to be in politics for so long. She lost the 2018 election to Will Hurd. She lost by 1,000 votes. It went to a recount that was watched nationwide. She lost the 2020 election. She was a perennial loser when it came to elections. Decided, you know what? Let me go for city politics. Went on a large field. 20 some odd people ran for mayor in San Antonio. She survived and advanced all the way to the final election, and she won. Now the question becomes, what is she going to hang her hat on? She had a threat against her recently made on social media that, to be honest with you, kind of scared me a little bit. I'm not saying that the guy was right in what he wrote, because he didn't. He did not come out and say, I'm going to go kill her. He said something to the effect of, she should be killed or something like that, right? It shouldn't have been done, shouldn't have been said. But for Gina Ortiz Jones to come out and say, well, it was said because I'm a woman and because I'm a minority, seriously, shut the F up. I'm a minority.
Claim being minority, because I know when she was in DC, she didn't use Ortiz as her middle name. It was Gina Jones. Only when she ran for a seat to get the mayoral race there, now it's Gina Ortiz Jones. No, hey, shut up.
Ted Cruz's name is Rafael. It works both ways.
And what happened with Berto? Remember Berto? Yeah, bro.
Would Ted Cruz get the support that he got from the far right if he went by his government name?
Right.
Roberto Eduardo
You can't claim your middle name or your middle name. You say you're Latina all of a sudden when you come back to San Antonio when you've been living in DC, going by Gina Jones for a long time. Like, come on, man.
I'll you know that's
Mrs. Jones.
Miss Jones. Keeping up with the Joneses. You know, that's a touchy subject, Mike, and I'm kind of glad that you brought it up because it's a touchy one, but it's an interesting one. Um, I I agree. Like you said, first of all, a scumbag on Twitter saying death threats or whatever is unacceptable.
dumb.
I mean that's nowhere near indicative of Spurs Twitter and that's what's funny is I saw people on Twitter like, oh, you see Spurs Twitter is crazy and people from San Antonio are crazy from one outlier clown that says something
Right.
crazy. That's not like as messed up as Spurs Twitter is and whatever. I will say this: that's one outlier. That's just not indicative of what most people are. Just generally good people that tweet stuff. Sometimes we say dumb stuff, like I have too, and it's whatever. But that dude is an outlier. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, what I will say is, I agree with Mike's point of it like we're gonna bring out the card of well, because I'm a female, because I'm a female of color. Listen, males of color, females of color, we all have barriers that we have to go through. All of us, we all do. Whether you're a minority, whether you're disabled, whether you're gay, anything. Okay, again, I go back to my military career as a military officer. It's very similar to America. The general 80% is white male. Like that's just a fact. Like the like in the like in the Marine Officer Corps, it's about 85% white male. Like that's just a predominant of what it is. You have your sprinkle of there's one African American, there's one black, there's one Mexican, there's one female, there's there's it's almost like a quota of like, all right, we have a couple, but generally speaking, you're not like everybody else. So
Right.
we all have barriers and glass ceilings that we have to go through. Now, to use that as kind of a crutch, to say, well, I'm only getting death threats because I'm a woman and a woman of color. Listen, if you were a man, if you were an alien and you sat in that seat and you said you basically want to destroy Project Marvel, I think any whack job would probably give you a death threat. I'm just saying. So I don't think it's about her being a female and a female of color. But I'm interested to see if that's the route she starts trying to go and the sympathy card she starts trying to pull.
If I had to
It's
ask
the
you
delivery.
what percentage is minority in San Antonio? San Antonio is a majority city.
Huge. Yeah.
76%.
Huge.
Less
Huge.
than
Yeah.
less than 1 in 4 of San Antonio is white. Less than
Right.
1 in 4.
Right.
So I
Right.
mean, it's 60 some odd percent
Yeah.
Hispanic, and then
Yeah.
African Americans.
I think it's just it sucks because it is true that there are racial tendencies and gender biases, but to use it at this point, to me, I think that's just she's kind of trying to divert. She's going to try to play the sympathy card of, well, I'm a female of color, and of course people are going to rally behind that because if you don't, you're chauvinistic or you're this or you're that. There's all these labels and titles if you don't. So again, she's smart, man. Politics are politics, and Mike said it. Mike said, why are you surprised that she's playing politics? She's a politician. I am amazed at people who hate politicians and bash Trump and bash Ted Cruz and go on and on about how much they hate politicians. But just to be anti-Spurs, they're rallying behind.
It's
Gina.
her delivery is really what it is at the end of the day. The way that she speaks, it shows you that there's a disconnect there, right? The way that she talks, they're like, aren't you afraid that the Spurs, you're going to alienate them and they're going to leave? We're not operating out of a place of fear. No, tonta, you don't say stupid shit like that to the media. Everybody's listening to you, whether they agree with you or not. Everyone's listening to you. You know that. Then she tries to backtrack and say like, well, what I mean is, we need to go ahead and work together, blah, blah, blah. Tries to kind of iron things out. But it's your delivery. It's the way that you're talking. It's your leadership style. All that's just saying, I'm here. I want to go ahead and run things a different way. That's cool. But you have to go about it a certain way. You have to go learn to talk with the people. You can't just go in there and impose your will and then want everybody to rally behind you. It don't work like that. You got to show us you're one of us. And right now she's showing us She's DC Jones, DC Gina.
Well, it's beyond all that. She's also military, Gina, and sometimes doing the military way doesn't work in the civilian world.
Hey, me and Rick
yes.
talked about this just yesterday. And what happened, Rick? Right? If you're a sergeant, a general, a colonel, how are wars won? With soldiers.
Yep.
And
Boots on the ground.
those soldiers ain't following you, bro. You got a problem, right?
Well, one of the problems that I had was David Chancellor of News Force San Antonio, KBB, posted a video of an interview that he had with Gina Ortiz Jones about Project Marvel. And remember, we posted a video of her talking to KSAT, right? She gave the exact same answer with the exact same phraseology, using the exact same words, which means that she's not talking from the heart. She's talking cliff notes. She's talking talking points is what she's doing. Joe, show what I just posted on Twitter right now, if you can, please. I find this to be hysterical. In fact, that was just the post. It just says hysterical. We have a poll on MJ Acquired Taste asking the question, who's the most hated Jones, Gina Ortiz Jones or Jerry Jones? Fernandez, who do you think it is?
I think it's Jerry, but we'll see what. Oh wow!
the answer is both.
You know what?
That's classic. Poll? That's classic.
There it is. 50, I'm going to go ahead and put the poll in favor of Gina.
50-50. Wow.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
50-50. Yeah.
Not anymore.
But scroll up to what that was. Isn't that funny? Jerry Jones, who we know is hated. I mean, people love the Dallas Cowboys, hate Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
People love the city of San Antonio, hate our new mayor. And for it to be 50-50 when she's been in office, 3 weeks? Says a whole heck of a lot, man, about how she has stumbled out of the gate, man. But
I just one last thing before we move on, man. And like I said, man, I do think she's a smart woman. I think she's a smart individual. She's very well educated. She's very well spoken. She just does come off kind of condescending when she talks, and I think it just turns people off. I think I don't know what her PR team is or what, and I know there's been a lot of people being fired and this and this and that, but it sucks because maybe she does have potential, man. Maybe if she would just listen, man. I think the approach is just wrong. Maybe her message is not the wrong message. I think her approach is wrong. And again, going back to the military stuff, listen, people are in the chat talking about military and different stuff. I'm a 20-year Marine. I'm a Marine officer. I've served in combat. I understand, like Mike said earlier, and Joe said it. The military approach isn't for everybody. Like, it's really not. Like, there's really good stuff about the military, and there's also really bad stuff about the military. And I'm saying this as a Marine veteran. Like, there's things that do turn people off. Like, you just can't come into somewhere and be like, blah, 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 and people are like, whoa, like the F up. Like, who are you? So you gotta just understand, but that's the human factor of things. Like, you gotta read the room. You know what I mean? You gotta understand things. Like, again, me as a Marine, I work for the Air Force now as a civilian. If I walked into my Air Force finance shop and was like, I'm a Marine, we're gonna do things my way, blah blah blah, they would be like, F you. Like, these ladies that work for me in the Air Force have been there for like 30 years, and they'd be like, ha, whatever. And just because I'm the boss and I get paid more doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, just like you said, Gina, she's an extra council member, So I think her approach, listen, man, go to the VFWs and drink cheap beers with the gente. Go walk Southtown. Go talk to Aaron at Bar Gimme Gimme. Go talk to the gente. Go get a feel for what's going on, because she does not have a pulse of what's going on in the city, and she just disconnected now.
Someone who has a pulse of the city is me. I mean, come on. I'm the pulse of San Antonio. 44 of my 48 years of life lived there.
There's only one person that has less of a pulse, and it's Gina, J-O-J, or G-O-J.
We go to GOJ. We ask her the question. Give us your 3 favorite taquerias in San Antonio. Could she answer?
Bro, she won't know. She won't know.
What's her record in Fiesta fights? That's what we want to know.
She never been to Fiesta, bro.
You used a phrase a few minutes ago there, Fernandez, about the messaging, talking about potential. What about
Yep.
the messaging and potential that was thrown at Jeremy Sochan? I asked you before the show started.
Yeah.
Did he catch a stray from former NBA star? Well, I wouldn't say star, former NBA veteran Martin Gorsat, who's
Mhm.
also part of the Polish basketball coaching staff.
What did you call him,
Yeah.
Mike?
Right
The
after
Polish
Jeremy
hammer?
Well, that's his nickname, the Polish Hammer.
Mhm.
Tell us what he said, Fernandez.
Oh.
I'm paraphrasing, but he in no certain terms basically said Jeremy needs to improve his shot around the rim. He needs to improve his shot making, his offensive game, which is what, not a shock, right? To most of
He
us,
can't
it's
shoot. He's
almost
not
something what of the obvious.
an
Yeah.
offensive threat. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said that. He said it in the Polish, like Mike said, he's part of the Polish national team. He's around and all that. I don't think he was taking shots at Jeremy like in a bad way. I thought he was, giving him some constructive criticism, but of course, people uh when their favorite player is being talked about in somewhat of a negative light, people take it the wrong way. So a lot of people kind of been running with this, like maybe Marcin has gotten death threats, I don't know, but yeah, the Matt Lerma voice, so hopefully not.
Leave Jeremy alone.
Yeah.
Leave Jeremy alone.
I mean, I don't think anything he said was wrong. I mean, I think he
Yeah.
just pretty much trying to give constructive criticism. He's a big man. He played in the NBA. He's a veteran, like Mike said. Jeremy might end up being a Marcin Gortat type player, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not throwing shade at that. Honestly, that probably is what he will be. If you think about it, I mean, Marcin Gortat was not a star, but he was a very serviceable big man who had a very solid career in the NBA.
Look at what he said.
Sochan.
These are his comments, Mike. He said he needs to work, and this is former NBA player Martin Gortat, and he's saying that Jeremy needs to work on his shooting both around the rim and from outside. His role for the Spurs has diminished lately. It says there are no set plays for him
There's
because
no set
he's
plays
not
for
a
him.
go-to
Yeah.
guy for the Spurs. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's just stating facts.
He is stating facts, and there's a couple of things about that. I believe that this is Jeremy Sochan's most important year in his NBA career. It's not only a contract year, but it's a put up or shut up year for him.
Yeah.
He has to fight the ongoing injuries that he has. He is going to be considered, if he goes down with another injury this year, just injury prone. He has missed more than 25 games in 2 of his 3 seasons as an NBA player. He does that a third time. What's the point in having him? What is the point? Now, as far as Gortat coming out and saying he needs to have set plays, no, he doesn't need to have set plays. He doesn't have the offensive bag to make that happen, and he's not going to create that bag. What he needs to do,
Well, he just said they don't have set plays for him.
well, they don't
But-
because he has no skill set.
because there's no reason for it.
Right.
There's no. I mean, here's the thing. Just Bruce Bowen didn't have set plays set for him. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a guy like you said. He doesn't need set plays for him. But what he needs to do is he needs to improve on when he does have the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
When the ball does happen to bounce to him, even though it wasn't a set play for him, he needs to execute on those moments.
He runs
doesn't
the
need
break
set
well.
plays for him.
He runs
Yeah.
the break well. He cleans up the glass well. I like the putbacks that he does.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
It's when they're in a offensive set,
Mhm.
you know, and
Yeah.
there's a play going on.
He's an afterthought. He's an afterthought. They're not gonna. He's just getting the ball to pass it to move the play forward, right?
Right. And if
He's
you
not-
mentioned
yeah,
Bowen, you mentioned Bowen. If he can get that thing going on where he's knocking down 34, I'm not even asking for 36, 38%. Just get it to 34%. Just be a threat out there, because a 34% three-point shooter has an effective field goal shooting percentage of 51%.
Mhm.
Just get to that, and you become valuable out there, because right now his role has diminished, as Gortat has said. He's no longer a starter. I see a lot of Spurs fans out there who are like trying to predict the starting 5. Why would Sochan be part of the starting 5? I don't understand. I don't understand. Looking at the roster right now, when you add Olynyk and Cornette, and when you add Dylan Harper,
Still got Barnes. You still got people that spread the floor. You know what? Here's the thing. I think Jeremy off the bench would be great.
Yeah.
I don't understand this, and I get it, man. Like everybody I don't know if it's a generational thing, but it's just like if you're not starting, you ain't shit. That's not true, man. I think Devin would be amazing off the bench. Keldon has showed greatness or not greatness, but he showed really good things off the bench. I don't think coming off the bench is such a bad thing for people. Like you said, man, I love people have called me a homer and all this stuff. I love our guys, but there's certain roles for them. Jeremy off the bench would be great.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy off the bench would be clutch, to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with coming off the bench, man, and being that guy. Like, okay, you're not the star, you're not the main guy. We get it. You're not even a second guy, you're not the third guy. Like, I mean, guys like Devin and Keldon and Jeremy, listen, man, they've held the water for this very, very tough tanking and tough time that the Spurs have gone through. So and they've done great things for the community, and I know all that. And some people don't care about that. I get that. I'm not saying that just because of that they deserve like to be starters and multi-million contracts, but if they could just be on the bench and be fine with being role players, I'm good with that.
Right.
Mike, I'm good with that. Right? Sochan off the bench. I mean.
Well, it depends on how many minutes he wants to play, because as a starter, he goes out there, gets 26, 28 minutes. Off the bench, he might only get 18 to 20.
Right.
And that's the thing, is that there's so many different players that are more talented than him going up. Now, defensively, we've seen the stats and the analytics. He can lock down a little bit of some of the better players out there. He does very well against Luka Doncic historically. He has some value to him. So he's not a scrub. But the point is that it's all about how are you as an overall player. And we see players like Dylan Harper now on this team. And I don't think Spurs fans, I've said this more than 3 or 4 or 5 times on this podcast, I don't think they know how good he is. Like Dylan Harper is a very, very good player. And that's going to take minutes. Stephon Castle being rookie of the year, improving what he does, gonna take minutes. A healthy De'Aaron Fox, gonna take minutes.
Carter Bryant.
Wemby, gonna take minutes. A young guy in Carter Bryant, developing him, gonna take minutes. So Sochan's role, don't be surprised if he's a 16 to 18 minute per game kind of guy. It takes the back seat.
And it might, I mean, again, man, it's like a defensive specialist. He's brought in for a specific thing, a defense clamp guy, do your thing. Now, if another team offers him more money and a bigger role, then you got to take it. Pop is notorious for telling people like Derek White, Patty Mills, Gary Neal, listen, if some other team is going to give you a bag, take it.
Take it.
Freaking take it, man. Like you got to, man. Like, and that's what's, and Mike is one of the biggest, detractors of Pop. But one thing I will say, and people have to understand, I think agree with, when it comes to Pop, he was never the guy that was like, no, stay with us and take the team discount and be a family guy and por vida. As much as people think that, I don't get that sense of Pop. He literally told Derek White, go to Boston. Like, go over there. Like, please, like, go do your thing. So it's the same thing with guys like Sochan and Keldon and Devin. We've seen what they are. I like them. I think they've done great things for the community. I'm not here saying that I want to get rid of them and I'm done with them. I think they just have to know their role, and if they're good with their role, then cool. If they want more and another team is willing to offer them more, then take it. Take it, and it's not about feelings and all that. Like that, like it's a business, man, at the end of the day. So, like you said, man, guys like Dylan Harper, I agree with you, Mike. I think, it's always one of those things, oh, he never played a second in a regular season second in the NBA. Well, neither did Wemby at one point. Neither did Magic Johnson at one point. Neither did, Kobe Bryant at one point. Neither did Michael Jordan. Like, no, people say things like, oh, he's never played a minute in the NBA, so we don't know what he is. Well, of course, that's a fact. But we know that you can kind of guess, educated guess, right? A trajectory of what he will be. And guys like Dylan Harper do seem uber talented and do seem to be the guys that can carry this team to the next level.
Joe, I see no problem. And I want to get your impression, Joe, on this one. I see no problem with the Spurs having Harper, Castle, and Fox together in the backcourt.
I
see.
agree.
No, I'm over here thinking this is an embarrassment of riches. Like this is
Mhm.
a good problem to have. Is it even a problem, dude?
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of all three together. Joe, do you see a problem in having that, or is that too crowded, too talented of a backcourt?
No, I think that's going to be a great backcourt because you need balance. And in the years past, Spurs didn't really have a really good bench. They were lacking in that department. They might have had a decent starting five, but when Wemby went out, the whole team changed. Wemby's on the court, team looks good. This year, and the advent of both, having Dylan Harper, having Carter Bryant come into the fray here. What's happening with this younger generation of Spurs as they start getting minutes, as they start learning a little bit more. Stephon Castle coming to year 2 now, this coming season. I think what's going to happen is going to shine the spotlight more and more on the other players that are just role players. Keldon Johnson. It's going to shine the spotlight more on Devin Vassell and his shortcomings. And the spotlight's going to be shown brightly on Jeremy Sochan, because they've already said, Morton Gurtat said, he doesn't have any plays called for him. His role is diminishing. That means that he might be gone. Spurs might go ahead and trade him before the trade deadline. And I wouldn't be mad at that, dude. I wouldn't be opposed to getting something for him versus letting him walk for nothing. But I think you're seeing Sochan's replacements come in, and that these younger generation of Spurs fan can develop into a better, let's say, caliber player, more so than Jeremy Sochan, where they can, maybe have a really good night as far as being able to lock down their defenders. But more importantly, how good are they going to be on the offensive end? And I'm not saying that you have to put up 20 points a night, but when you're called upon to take a shot that's wide open from beyond the arc, you need to knock that down, because it changes how many games you're going to win at the end of the year, right? You can be flirting with play-in or be flirting around with maybe the 8th seed, 7th seed. But you know what? If you can start knocking down some of these open shots that you have, you instantly go from an 8th seed. Maybe you go to a 6th seed. Maybe you get up to the 5th seed. You become a better team. And I think right now what the Spurs are doing, especially with Jeremy Sochans, Keldon Johnsons of the world, that, the players that are kind of holdovers here, they've become expendable, and I think that's a good thing. It's showing the evolution of the team, and that's what you want to happen. You want your team to get better. And I think that's what's going to happen this coming season. And again, Jeremy Sochans, Keldon Johnsons, Devin Vassells, they're going to look more and more expendable if they can't produce.
That's Joe Garcia. That is Spur Hernandez there in the middle. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Spurs on the other side, because we had to give some love to our sponsor, P.F. Chang's La Cantera, which powers our chat. On the other side, we have a lot of people on our chat talking about Carter Bryant. Want to get into him for a little bit, and then we'll talk about some NFL news on the other side. Give some love to P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of P.F. Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. P.F. Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Yeah, go say hi to Sean Quintero out there, big supporter of this show. That's P.F. Chang's La Cantera on the Nordstrom side of La Cantera. Got a little buzz going with this bullet, baby.
There you go.
Bullet
There
in the
you go.
morning.
Already.
Hey, you know what? You know what? You know what it is? It's the time. It's the morning, right?
Yeah.
It's just your body is on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, you're drinking, and like you're fine. Like you're it's not a big deal, because your body's like, oh, your body knows that it's Friday night, it's Saturday night.
Yeah.
A Friday morning, a Tuesday morning, like your body's like, whoa, hold on, hold on, so it hits you a little different.
This is more than just a drink. It's also anesthesia, because after this, I'm going to get my teeth checked and my gums worked on.
Oh, well, you're good then.
And I'm going to be honest,
bro.
I'm gonna be honest,
You're gonna be on that laughing gas. You're gonna be on that laughing gas, bro.
I'm going to be honest with you, Fernandez. I have the hots for my hygienist. because my hygienist is
Chica.
Chica.
Yeah.
My
She's gonna
hygienist.
put you under. She's gonna put you under, bro. She's gonna give you that laughing
Mike-
guy. Hey, if you wake up when you wake up with your pants unzipped, you're gonna, groggy, kind of groggy. There's a Seinfeld episode like that. I don't know. I love Seinfeld. We're going to we're skewing on, but I like it. I love Seinfeld. I'm a big Seinfeld fan. I don't know if any Seinfeld fans
I
are
love
out there,
Seinfeld.
but there's an episode where the dentist, Dr. Watley, the dude from Breaking Bad or Breaking Bad. Dude. His character on Seinfeld is like Dr. Tim Wally, the dentist from Breaking Bad, is so different. Like you don't even realize that it's the same guy.
That's
right?
the Two-Face episode.
Yes, the Two-Face. Yeah, exactly. And so Jerry is like at the dentist, and he's like all groggy. He's like, I think my pants were unzipped, my shirt was untouched. Like, what's going on? So yeah.
Mike might just surprise Chica when she comes through the door today. He's gonna be, I got a little buzz in me,
baby. Hey, she's cute. When the Area 210 podcast is on a Friday, you never know what's gonna happen, baby.
She's gonna be chipping away, and I'm gonna be like leaning on over, baby.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you.
Yeah. I know we definitely want to get into Carter Bryant and the rookies. There's some SAFC talk that I think needs to be had.
We got something coming up here that one of our friends had sent us. I think it was Sam Salinas that sent us this, and I'm gonna go ahead and share it. And I saw this yesterday too. It's like I'm not noticing what you guys are doing. I'm just really busy right now. Work has been really crazy as of late. I don't know what's going on, but there's been a lot of stuff happening lately. But I think this was sent in by Sam Salinas, and he was saying that he wants everybody to know what's going to be happening over at La Cancha, the field over there at Toyota Field on Saturday. So I'll play this real quick.
At the kickoff of the SAFC game, make sure we catch y'all there. Link down below.
So this is Carter Bryant.
What's up, Spurs fans? This is Carter Bryant. Dylan Harper here. And we're going to be at the kickoff of the SAFC game. Make sure we catch y'all there. Link down below.
So that's what they're saying. They're just going to be at the SAFC game.
Listen, you know what I like about these two kids, and we got to remember, they're what 18, they're 19, 20-year-old kids, right? They do a lot of stuff together, man. They kind of hang out. Joe, if you can pull up my Twitter, I retweeted a picture of one of my best friends. His son ran into them at the rim at a Best Buy. Right. Just this is how humanized these kids are.
Oh yeah.
Joe, if you could pick up that picture.
Yeah, I got it.
Pull it up.
I got you.
This is Carter Bryant and Dylan Harper with my boy John. This is my buddy's son, right? Bro, they're at Best Buy picking up controllers, game controllers to play each other. And they just happen to be there. And my boy, shout out to my boy, they call him Baby John. My homie John, that's his son. He happened to be at the same Best Buy as them, and they were just there chilling. And they literally were buying controllers, PS5, to play games together. And they were cool with them, very gracious. Took a picture with them. But I love that these guys are together. They're kind of hanging out together. They're going through the rookie years and days together, right? They're doing the SAFC together, right? So I thought this was really cool. You know what I mean? And he sent me this picture, and I just, he knows I'm a big Spurs. It's funny. He told me, he goes, "Hey, have you took a picture with these guys?" I go, "No." He goes, "Oh, I beat Fernandez." To a picture. This is what this kid said. Yeah, this is the attitude of this kid. He said, "I got one over you." And he's right.
Carter Bryant appears to be the more extroverted of the two, or the more outgoing, the more talkative of the two.
Yeah.
I think that the city of San Antonio, not to say anything bad about Dylan Harper, because there's nothing to be said bad about him. I think the city has embraced Carter Bryant in a weird way because he's more extroverted. He if you were to put a microphone in front of both of them, the one to talk first will be Carter Bryant. Not because he's the better player. It's just he's more comfortable in his skin when it comes to all that.
You know what? So I was in Vegas for the summer league, and I was really close to the bench, and this is not a knock on Dylan Harper. I worry. I haven't said this before to anybody because I feel like people are gonna think that I'm knocking on Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
I think from just seeing them as close as I did in Vegas, I think Carter Bryant is like the more mature one of the two. Like he just
Mm,
seems he seems very he's younger and he's not the number 2 overall pick, you know. I think Dylan Harper is the more talented of the two, but I think Carter is just more down to earth, more mature, you know. I don't know, man. And I'm not knocking Dylan Harper at all. I'm not. I'm just saying I think Carter Bryant and it might be their upbringings, man. You know, we're all we're so multifaceted people. Like there's so many things that make us tick, right? There's things that make Mike Jimenez why Mike Jimenez is Mike Jimenez. There's things that makes Fernandez why Fernandez is Fernandez, and Joe why Joe is, right? I think, you know, Carter Bryant, you know, grew up in a household where his grandparents were deaf. He had to learn sign language, right? There's all these different things. I actually met, oh man, I don't know, I don't want you to have to dig through my Twitter, Joe, but I met Carter Bryant's grandparents in Vegas in Summer League, and they had the belt. They took a picture with the belt, and we were doing the whole sign language thing, and it was really cool. And they were really cool people, man. And they were really, really down to earth people. I met his aunt, I met a lot of his family, and they're from Riverside, which is not
mhm.
far here
Oh
in
yeah.
San Diego. Yeah, they're from
Yeah.
Riverside, and they're from the area. They're really cool people. They're very down to earth. And you know, they're just. I think the upbringing is different. Now, I'm not bagging on Dylan Harper, but we all know who his father is. We all know, you know, he grew up in a, you know, well, his father's not with his mother or whatever, but you know, he's a son of an NBA star, a legend, and all that, you know. So I think it's just a different kind of way you got brought up. I
Yeah,
think Carter Bryant was just more brought up like normal, like regular, like, you know, just a regular dude, you know. And Dylan Harper, I think, has a little bit of that, like my dad's an NBA champion, you know, and it's not his fault. It's just it's not his fault. It's just kind of it's in your DNA, you
yeah. I
know.
think it's the difference between expectations and gratitude. I think that Carter
Hmm.
Bryant's happy to be there because
Yeah,
he probably thought his whole life that this couldn't happen. He was going to
right.
try and go for his dream. He's living the dream.
Yeah.
Dylan Harper was
Yes.
expected of him.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where maybe the childhood was more joyful
Hmm.
in the Bryant household,
Hmm.
despite the fact that they had so much going on that was difficult, despite the adversity. Sometimes you need to have adversity in your life to come
Sure.
out better on the other side.
Right.
Most definitely. Uh, Mario Cavazos comes out in our chat, powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, says Mikey Jimenez privilege as well. His parents took him to Tacos Martinez. My parents didn't take me anywhere.
Hey, people in the chat are saying that Mike, you're a lightweight. They said they already
Hey, look,
seen you.
the eyes don't lie, Rick. The eyes
They
don't
said
lie, bro.
they said that your color changing a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
He's getting
know,
a little
so
red, bro. He's getting a little red.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, Joe. Somebody came after me on Twitter the other day saying that I bashed UTSA and that I was a fair weather fan because
Oh, I saw that. I saw
because
that. I
because
saw that. You know what?
I said that UTSA might
Excuse
go
me.
0-3. Time to go take
That
a
was
leak.
funny. No,
No,
I
no, no.
love that.
Hey,
But
hi. No, I got to get a refill, but we're good.
Okay,
We're
so
good. We're good.
I,
Good.
I
Good.
so
Go. No,
I,
keep going. Keep going.
so I said that UTSA is in danger of going 0-3 to
Messi.
start off the year wrong. And
Yeah, I saw
UTSA
that.
fans got a little bit pissed off. And they're like, you're a fair weather fan. Don't cheer for UTSA. Don't go to the games then. All that stuff.
Yeah,
what's
yeah. They
wrong with
want to
that,
cancel
dude?
you, Mike. They want to cancel you, Mike. They want to
You know,
cancel you.
but John Dyer kind of came to my rescue a little bit, exit 7 by saying, that game against Texas State might make or break the year. That's week 2 of the season. Because imagine if UTSA goes 0-2, because they're a 21-point underdog against A&M in week 1 at Kyle Field. They're taking on Texas State. Texas State just trounced UTSA last year, 49-10. They're going to be playing at the Alamo Dome. And everyone says things like, well, UTSA Trailer has a record of 23-3 or whatever it is at the Alamo Dome. What does that have to do with that game? Not a damn thing. You go and play roulette, you see 7 in a row that it's black. Doesn't mean it's going to be black the next time because it's all about the law of
Yeah,
averages.
you think it is. You convince yourself that it's gonna
Right.
be right, but it's not. Yeah.
And then
You
they
always
came out
bet
and
on black, Mike.
I know.
Put it all on black.
Like
You know
Wesley
what? Real
Snipes
quick,
said.
yeah, put it all on black. Real quick before I forget. You mentioned John Dyer, right? Spurs and Salsa. If you don't follow him, please follow him. He's a good dude, man. He's a
a good guy.
good dude, man. John Dyer, I've known him for a very long time. I've known him personally. I know his family. He's been there for me. John Dyer, man, he used to do a lot of podcasts and stuff with the Spurs and Salsa. He's been like laying low a lot lately, He's enjoying it. His sons are really good golfers.
Oh, they're very
good. His sons are very good golfers, right? They do golf tournaments and all that. And John, he's just a good dude, man. And I feel bad because I kind of haven't been in touch with him as much as I should be. But yeah, man, if you guys ever want to follow, he knows. When I defer to Texas Longhorns, you got to go to Spurs and Salsa and John.
Look
Dyer.
at Tony Ornalis is saying, Joe, join the party, drink some water or something. I've been drinking some soda here. If you really do know what I do for a living, I can't drink while I'm on the job.
Yeah.
There's other things that I gotta do. I have to have clarity of thought.
I know. I'm glad though that Mike is drinking because now I don't feel like the lone alcoholic in the room. You know what I mean? So,
You know what I was thinking, Rick? We need to go ahead and have a Puro Exit 7 edition. So we need to have Dyer and you in the studio without Mike, and it's just Puro Exit 7, right?
Without Mike.
Without Mike. It's just Puro Exit. You ain't one of us, bro. You're from home.
We've actually done it.
Dude, Chica makes fun of me sometimes whenever I tell her. She goes, "Do you have a podcast today?" I'm like, "Why aren't you doing your show?" And I said, "Well, because I got kicked off the show because we have X, Y, and Z on there." And she says, "I like the fact that Joe can keep you in check.
Yeah,
that he can tell you you're off the show."
Listen, I've always anytime I'm on the show, shit. We had when we had Danny De La Paz in studio, when we had Ramon Cardenas boxer on studio. Every time we're there, I said, hold on, let me first before we start, our host, Mike, is allowing us to do this without him. He has his own thing. So it's always love, bro. Don't think it ain't love, bro.
I love the fact when you guys do the show because a couple of things. I love the reps that you get. That Elias gets on Plead the Sith. Matt Lerma with the spaces and all that because there needs to be more voices out there.
There's enough love for everybody, bro. There's enough for all of us. And I've said this before. I don't understand that like gatekeeping where people want to just be like, oh, bro, there's enough for all of us, man. There's a lot of talented people out there, man. In San Antonio and the surrounding areas, there, like you said, man. When it comes to whether it's podcasts, whether it's videography, like each staff does great things. Like there's enough to share, man. There's no need to like gatekeep and like hold people down. There really isn't, man.
There isn't. And talking about voices that have been around for a while, I've been around for a while. Mike Taylor. I love him. He's a good guy. He's good to our show. Was on the show. What he posted on Twitter just right now. My goodness, Mike Taylor. I haven't seen it. He posted about the Project Marvel, and I'm looking for it right now. I just saw it a few seconds ago. If you can find it, Joe.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
At Mike Taylor Show. Humble Mofo, who by the way also listens to our podcast, by the way. Says, my fear is that most of the no people, talking about Project Marvel, will be the majority that will go out to vote. If so, we are screwed. Mike's response back was, that old saying that you get what you pay for holds the same for elections. Only 60% bothered to vote in this town. Instead of bashing an unpopular mayor, Spurs fans should start giving a shit about things other than basketball.
Oof, that's a tough one.
That's going to age bad.
That's a tough one.
But at the end of the day, the Spurs are the only professional sports team we have in this city, And I understand, like we've said, there's other things that, let's say the people of San Antonio also need to focus on beyond just sports. And I think that's what he's saying. Like when it comes to other important things, flood control, for example, potholes, development, roads, sidewalks, things like that.
I think that's pretty condescending of him to say that
Yeah.
people in San Antonio don't care about those things because
Yeah.
some people do. Some people do.
I
So,
mean, we
but
get what's going on though with the Spurs
yeah,
being the
yeah,
only professional sports team in town. You kind of got to give a shit about them because if they
yeah,
leave, what you got now? Nothing.
yeah. 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 I think that's condescending for him to say. I don't know him personally. I'll be honest. I know you guys know him and all that. So I don't know him personally. I know who he is and I know of him, obviously. But I think that's a little condescending for him to say that people need to give a shit about other things or whatever. It's hard, man. It's hard when you go off and leave and live in Hawaii or live here or live there, or even for me, like I'm in Cali. I know that. Like I live in Cali. I get shit for that. People are like, "Oh, well, you left. You moved to Cali. Like you live in San Diego. So you like, what do you like? Why do you care about the Spurs or San Antonio, whatever?" Listen, I'm in San Antonio as much as I can be. I'm there. Mike, does his thing in Houston. Like, people grow and evolve, and it's there's nothing wrong with like leaving and you still have your vested interest and your heart in
You
San
leave your
Antonio.
puro,
Your
puro.
bureau, yeah,
Yeah.
or
Wait,
people
wait,
like
wait,
Joe,
wait, wait,
or
wait,
people
wait.
like Joe, or people like Joe who has never left and always have been there. So there's different levels and facets of things, and everybody has their own personal ties to what it is. But to tell somebody like, oh well, you don't know what it is because you're not here. But like I said, man, like you got to just be open and honest with people. But if Mike Taylor, comes off as kind of pompous about what things are going, what's happening in San Antonio, it's like, man, you gotta, you have a voice and you have a following, and people don't understand the power of celebrity or just like who
Persuasion.
you, yeah, like if you're, and I'm not, just in general, man, like Taylor Swift, right? Taylor Swift was on the podcast the other day with the brothers, and how many people tuned into that? You know what I mean? So you'd be surprised of whatever your opinions are, other people take it for gospel. If somebody comes on here that has a bunch of followers that says, "Hey, Project Marvel is bad," then everybody's like, "Okay, then they said it was bad, so it must be bad." So
You know
you
what,
just
Rick?
gotta,
And
when you
that
have a
sentiment
platform, you
too.
Well,
gotta be careful when you have a
m-
platform of
Me
what
and
you
Mike
say.
tell me and Mike are advocates for people to go to the voting polls. We always
Mhm.
tell them that we don't say how to vote.
Absolutely,
We just always
please
say,
go.
hey,
Yeah.
it's voting weekend or early voting started. Go to
Yes.
the
Yes.
polls, go vote. It's up to the people to go out there,
Sure.
and cast their votes. Every vote matters. Your opinion does matter. Go and vote. That's all we
Hmm.
say. Go and vote.
Hmm.
Me and Mike
Yeah.
have always sent that, right, Mike? Go and vote.
Hmm.
Yeah, and 16% is piss poor. And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that goes on to
Yeah.
the apathy of voters. That goes on to I'll give you an example. We live in a world right now where politics is dominated by the far right, right?
Yeah.
The percentages of people that actually are far right is probably 30%, but they go vote. And therefore
Yeah.
the things that are happening because those 30% do vote, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's not that I don't care about various things in society. Right now I'm in Conroe, Texas. I'll be in San Antonio tomorrow morning. I have my family there. I have my business there. I want to be as close to San Antonio as possible. I don't know where me and Chica are going to go live. We're still saving money. We want to make a big splash. We don't want to sit there and buy a house that we're going to be unhappy with 3 years from now.
Mhm.
We want to
Yeah.
go find
Yeah.
a nice property, right? That could be in San Antonio, well, Bear County. That could be
Mhm.
in Comal. That could be in Medina. That could be whatever. But the fact of the matter is that I look at the Spurs and I think to myself, there are few things in life that unite the city like the Spurs do. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you're white, brown, black, yellow, red. It doesn't matter if you're liberal or conservative. We love our Spurs.
You're right.
And I think that Gina Ortiz Jones, the new mayor of San Antonio, doesn't get that. She might be exit 7, former John
Yeah.
Jay High School, all that stuff.
Mhm.
But I don't think she gets that. Her adult
She's
life
been
was
away.
not her
She's
adult
been
life
away
was
too long.
her
Yeah. She's
adult
been
life
away
was
too.
not in San
Yeah.
Antonio, which means that she missed
Yeah.
out on the championships. She
Yeah.
missed out on things like that. And it could be maybe she's not a sports fan, may not understand that. I have conversations with Chica sometimes about sports. And there have been some moments in sports that have made me cry. I remember 1999, Western Conference Finals, being there with my friends Joey and Mike and Joseph and Lewis and all of them, Alex. We were at the Alamo Dome as the Spurs were beating the Knicks, and you knew that it wasn't going to come back. You knew the Spurs were going to win the chip, and it was going to be there at Madison Square Garden. You knew it was going to happen, and it brought so much joy to us, right? We saw how the heartache that we had in 2013 when the Spurs lost, when Ray Allen knocked down that three-point shot. I cried literal tears when the Houston Oilers left in 1997 to Memphis and then relocated to Nashville. Sports is something that is a fabric of what we do, and sometimes it makes our day and it ends our day. You look at sports right now, you know that when you have a winning team in football and basketball, that crime goes down in your city, and that when your team sucks ass, crime goes up. There's something to be said. I joke about me being the pulse of San Antonio. The actual pulse of San Antonio might actually be the San Antonio Spurs. And the pain that we would have as a community, as a city, whether we live in San Antonio, live in Bexar County, the surrounding areas, live in San Diego, if we rep the silver and black, the pain that we have as fans, if they were to ever leave, cannot be understated or not, and it's hard to measure. Dude, the 1997 is when the Oilers left Houston. I didn't live in Houston, but you know what, Cowboy fans? You don't live in Dallas either. I was an Oilers diehard fan. I lived and died by the Oilers. I met Warren Moon at Radio Row at Super Bowl 2 years ago, and it was one of the few times I ever melted talking to somebody in the media. If the Spurs ever left, I know this as an Oilers fan. If the Spurs ever left, you would not recover from that. And it's painful. And though they haven't threatened to leave or all that, I don't even want it to get to that. I don't think that people understand. I don't even want it to get to that point where there's even a threat being made, because it has been 30 years later, and I'm still scarred by the Oilers leaving. Still, and I am jealous of Cowboy fan that you guys have the team that you grew up with still there, because I adopted the Saints and I love the Saints, but I will never love them the way that I love the Oilers. I will never love the Saints the way that I love the Spurs. And if the Spurs left San Antonio, I would be so heartbroken, and it wouldn't be something that would last. Like, oh, you'll get over it. I don't think I'd ever get over it.
You know what? I guess the temperature here in San Antonio when it comes to what's going on here with city politics and the Spurs has reached an all-time high here. When I see one of my friends here, and Chris Duell, the great Chris Duell, chime in, and I saw him put something up there on Facebook, and he's very neutral most of the time. And he put something up on Facebook, a post of what was going on, and he put Las Vegas Spurs, something to that effect. And he doesn't really chime in on these types of things, but he's very vocal about wanting to have the San Antonio Spurs be an instrumental part of the city. And that just shows the discontent right now that the citizens of San Antonio have with this whole debacle that's going on. Because the people want to have the Spurs here. It's time for a new arena. If you have a professional sports team in your city, just about every 30 years or so, they need a new place to play.
Yeah.
And that's just part of what goes on, having a professional sports team. It's part of the maintenance, should I say, of having a professional sports team in your city. Every 30 years or so, you need a new facility to play in. The Frost Center, it's reached about that time, to go ahead and move on. And the Spurs in the city, the county, everybody has talked about this for a while. The Institute of Texas Culture, they're already tearing that down because presumably that's going to be the new destination for the new Spurs arena. I get that. But beyond that, whatever place they decide to go ahead and, build the new arena, it's going to be there for 30 plus years or 30 years or so, and having Project Marvel there for an extended period of time, it's not something that's really it's going to affect us, but we're old guys already. We'll be here for some of it, but this is going to be more impactful to the next generation of Spurs fan. The other generation, the younger generation, like my kids and their kids after them and whatnot. So this is it's going to have a long lingering impact after we're gone. It's still going to be here, and I think that says a lot towards the future of where not only San Antonio is going to go as a city, but where the Spurs are going to go as an organization, and that's the big picture kind of thing. And I don't believe that it's the delivery again that I've already talked about, the way she's handling things that's getting that backlash, that's getting that pushback. I just wish things could have been handled differently, and she's very vocal and she's smart because she might not have the PR people. And I've heard behind the scenes people have quit and whatnot, but she's coming out in the media. She's going for a less is more approach. If you go to, let's say, a television station, right? You're going to go on air. What are you doing? She's not dumb. She's going for the big play. She wants to go ahead and get her narrative in front of as many eyes as possible and try to save face because she knows she kind of dropped the bag on her delivery.
Joe,
so now she's being her own PR people.
I disagree. I think she is dumb.
No,
I think she is. I think Gina Ortiz Jones is not qualified to be the mayor of San Antonio, the 7th largest city in the United States. I think she is coming from a place of entitlement. I think she's tone deaf, and
I agree. I agree that she's not, but I don't think it's because she's dumb. I just think it's because, like you said, she has her priorities in a different way, or she's. I don't think she's dumb.
Jeff Johnson says, "I like faded Mike."
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack here, man. And I don't think she's dumb. I just don't think she is like reading the room. I don't think she's reading the room, man. I just don't think she understands like what's going on here. I don't think she's dumb. I think she's a smart individual. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot there. But, people are talking about, like, I think it's Tavares who keeps saying over and over, well, if the Spurs just won, then everything will be okay with Project Marvel. Well, then I guess it doesn't matter. I seen that from other people who are like, oh, if the Spurs just win, then they would get Project Marvel. So then it doesn't matter about the amount of money or the economic impact or the poor people that are not getting what they. So basically what y'all are saying is if the Spurs are winning, then you would be okay with Project Marvel. So then stop saying that, the poor people are suffering and all this other stuff. It's just about winning. So if this season the Spurs starts winning, then everybody should be okay with Project Marvel. Right? Tavares?
Right.
Like, that's what you're saying. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's about winning. So it's just funny to me when people say, oh, if the Spurs are winning, then everybody would be good with Project Marvel. So then don't say it's about poor and economic impacts and all this other stuff.
Yeah, we got an incoming super chat here from Mario Cavazos.
Here comes the money.
And look at what he's saying here. There we go. He's saying, is it safe to say the rise and existence of San Antonio sports radio and now podcasting is all due to the Spurs? There would be no Ticket 760 or Star. And that's the thing. That's the power of sports, right? It's very impactful on the community and the city as a whole. Now, he has a point here. I mean, if the Spurs weren't here in San Antonio and winning championships, would there be the advent of these sports radio shows or the sports channels? For example,
what are you going to talk about?
ESPN.
What are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about if there's no Spurs here in San Antonio? What are you going to talk about?
Right.
We're going to talk about the Riverwalk and the walking and the parks and I mean, come on, let's be real. Let's be real, man. Let's be real. What are you going to talk about?
Joe, people are advocating for a 100% drunk show one day. Do you know what I was talking?
We need it.
Do you know what I was thinking about the other day, Joe?
No.
I think one of these days, you and I need to have a pop-up show.
Just go somewhere and pop up.
Well, what time do you get off work? What time do you get off work?
Mike, I don't get out of work till 9.
Okay. One day, you and I just
whenever you're off,
an unannounced show at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Even if it's for 30 minutes, an unannounced show just to see who tunes in.
Yeah, well, I'll what I can do is I can always ask for off. they're always telling me that I need to stop working because I work way too damn much. But the problem being is that they want me to take off, but I can't take off because there's only like 2 people on our team that have the high enough clearance to do what we do.
Yeah.
So if one of us takes off, somebody else has to stay behind. And
You know
that's
what's-
the part that's hard.
You know what I will say, and I'm not saying this as to diminish the Spurs. If there was no Spurs, if there was no, because people are like, oh, y'all talk about the Cowboys. If there was no Spurs or no Cowboys to talk about, there's a lot of San Antonio stories. Like we start talking about back in the day, songs.
We'll go live from the Donkey Lady Bridge.
There's still a culture here. So and which is kind of counterintuitive because I love the Spurs. But let's say the Spurs left. Let's pretend. Have you ever seen Back to the Future 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Back to the Future 2. There's an alternate 1985 where Biff is runs everything and everything's totally different, right? Let's pretend there's an alternate 1985 and there's no Spurs, there's no nothing. The world is fucking in shambles, right? San Antonio is still San Antonio. We will talk about, remember when we cruised military, remember when we went to skate land, remember when we did all these things, remember, I actually love the shows that you guys have done that aren't even about sports. They're about
nostalgia.
They're about nostalgia. They're about remember when we did this. Remember when we went to BRAC. Remember when we and all those people that are not from San Antonio are not going to get it, and it's okay. Like you ain't from here, you aren't here, you ain't. If you don't know, you don't know. That's okay. But when you fucking have been born and raised in San Antonio, have been here through thick and thin. It's not even about the Spurs, it's not even about Cowboys. It's not about none of that. It's about the culture. It's about the upbringing and what you value as a person. That's what it's about, living in this city.
Oh, shit, bro. Look what Sam Salinas says. Rick, Mike has no idea what you're saying. He's totally faded into seeing Yolanda talk instead of you.
Oh, hey, this is the Yolanda, bro. Look at this. Trust no bitch. Trust no bitch, baby. Trust no bitch. No, I went to Golden State Park as a kid with my dad my dad was in my life like my first 5 years that I remember, right? Other than that, he was a piece of shit. But when my dad I remember the old Jesse James Leja fights, you know what I mean? The Puro do San Antonio, bro. Like Zara Zamora Street boxing gym, like all that, bro. Like
it's still there.
Bro, yeah, exactly. Marbach, China Rose, Holmes High School, John Jay. There's so much about
Mike
San Antonio
hates China Rose, bro. He hates China Rose.
Dude, China Rose was dude. It
oh
was
my
good.
God,
bro, shut your mouth.
Okay, first of all, I didn't say it was bad.
Taco Martinez, bro. There's so much about.
I'm Team Ding Hao, dude. Team Ding Hao.
No, mames, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's a great
We
point.
lost him, Rick. We lost him.
Ding Hao's not bad, bro. But I'm just saying, bro. All I gotta say is, dude, I'm just trying to give love to like the hardworking people in San Antonio, dog.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that, that they don't get the notoriety, they don't get the love, they don't know all that. But like, dude, there's people in San Antonio that have been working hard, that have been busting their ass. Like, you got to give love, bro. You got to give love.
Agreed. But I love me some Ding Hao, man. That lemon chicken rocks, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I love me too? I like me some PF Chang's, bro.
Ooh.
Lettuce wraps, baby. Chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. Just show me some love. My number is 210-508-0369. 210-508-0369. When I'm sober, I'll talk to you about investments. When I'm sober, I'll talk to you about interest planning. 210-508-0369.
You see what I did with that slide, Rick? Do you want to make more money? Call Mike.
Call Mike. Yeah. Make more money. Mexican. You know what I love about Mexican Junior, man? He's He's OG, bro. He starts talking about Leha versus Azuma Nelson.
Zuma
That's
Nelson.
OG boxing. That's
Wow,
OG
dude.
boxing, bro. Listen, bro. You don't know boxing if you don't know about Leha and Azuma Nelson, San Antonio boxing. So I
Dude,
love Messi and Jr., bro.
the boxing from 2000 to 2005, when we were watching Leha versus Azuma Nelson, when you were
Yeah.
watching De La Hoya fight whomever he was fighting,
Yeah.
when you were
Mhm.
watching Mickey Ward and Gotti, dude, that
Yeah.
was some great boxing moments of my life.
Yeah.
Those are the best boxing moments of my life. Before
Yeah.
that, it was when I was an early teen and I was watching Hearns and Leonard and Hagler go at each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I love boxing. Fuck MMA, dude. Seriously,
Aw,
UFC,
Mike.
fuck MMA.
I gotta agree.
bro.
I gotta agree with Mike
I
on
like
that one.
boxing, but I also like watching some MMA, some UFC kind of stuff, man. Like I told you,
Mm.
that one fighting championship comes out every single Friday. They live stream it. You can watch it on the Roku. You can watch it. The live stream on Facebook. That little Muay Thai guys, man, they little motherfuckers flying at each other, bro. They throwing hands, dude.
Oh, hey, 150
exciting,
pounds,
bro.
bro. Those
Shit.
150 pounders be getting it, bro.
They've been throwing hands, bro.
Yeah. Hey, you got a 999 super chat, brother.
Oh yeah, dude.
Nice.
We got a good super chat coming in. Incoming super chat.
Here comes the money.
There you go, Mike. And he's saying, I grew up in El Paso. And he says, and choose to make San Antonio my home for the last 30 years. If the Spurs leave, this will be El Paso East. I don't want that to happen.
New Laredo, baby. New Laredo.
Mike
Black
has
Bucket, thank you
said
for the
that.
support.
But I think that's a appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the
Yeah,
support.
thank you, man.
Black Bucket 2-0. Black Bucket. Yeah.
Yep.
Mike
It's
has
Black
said Mike has said New Laredo for a while. Like he's coined that phrase. He's
Yeah, they
coined
were
that
saying
phrase.
too. They are right with this one, Rick, because me and you are big boxing fans.
Mhm.
Boxing had meaning back then, back in
Yeah.
like the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s. It's changed a lot now. Now it's all about getting that money. You know, it's
Mhm.
all about the pageantry. You know,
Yeah.
what you're doing when you're coming out in front of the media, the weigh-ins, you know, the back and forths, you know, that
Right.
kind of stuff. All the hype leading up to the actual fight itself, you know, the drama. Because they want to make it clear, you know, hey, these
Yeah.
guys hate each other. They hate each other. Bro, in order to be a successful boxer, what else you got to be, Rick? You
Mhm.
got to be an actor too. You know, like, come on, man. You got to sell it.
Yeah.
You got to sell the
Yeah.
drama. Drama sells tickets. Drama sells
Mhm.
pay-per-views. But you know,
Right.
I was going to tell you one thing, Rick, that really stood out to me is that UFC got sold, right? The rights, the streaming rights got sold recently
saw
to
that.
Paramount Plus for
Mhm.
$7.7 billion. And you know
Right.
what UFC is finally doing? They're doing away with their pay-per-view, much like
Mhm.
WWE did. That model, I think, is going bye-bye. And it's
Pay-per-view's
getting
dead.
smart,
Yeah.
though,
Mhm.
because they're like, you know what? People don't really want to necessarily pay anymore. They're already paying for all these streaming services.
Subscriptions. Yeah.
Yeah, sell those media, sell those streaming rights outright. And if somebody's subscribing already to, you know, Paramount Plus, they're going to be able
Yeah.
to watch all the marquee matchups.
Mhm.
Maybe boxing will take a page out of that and be like, you know what? We're just going to have one streaming service where you can watch all
Mhm.
these fights, and that's it. The big
Mhm.
marquee matchups and whatnot, you're going to be able to watch them because one, that's going to cull what's happening right now with the piracy. Because if you make
Yeah.
things affordable, why are they going to have why are they going to want to go to like Stream East and all these other places to go and
Right.
watch the fight illegally? You don't need to do that no more because you already subscribe. You know, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
smart because in turn that means they're going to get more viewership. You know, so I don't know, man. I think that the pay-per-view model is going to go the way of the dodo bird. It's going to get extinct soon, man.
Yeah. I agree, bro. I agree exactly what you're saying, bro. 100%. 100%.
You know, maybe Turkey will get smart and be like, you know what? No charging for any of these fights anymore. It's just boom, you pay this one monthly subscription, you get to watch them. I think he's the guy that can put all that together, man, because he's got the money.
Yeah.
People are asking for someone to wake me up. I was actually checking to see if Joshua Stephens played the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you very much. I was on blackandteal.com.
I saw that, but I was gonna leave it alone. I saw that.
Okay, so where are we drinking tomorrow, Joe? Because I'll be in San Antonio. I get in town tomorrow. It's my daughter's birthday today.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, Mike. Where you want to go drink? Anywhere but Stout House. I don't know if Chica can stand that place, bro.
Well, we went to Stout House one time, man, and it was all right,
Aight.
man. I don't know. Chica likes a good drink. She doesn't want to drink. No, don't get me wrong. She likes a strong drink, but she
Mhm.
wants a good drink, dude. She's not. She can class it up. She can dive bar it. She can go everything in between. But in San Antonio, the problem with San Antonio going to a dive bar, Joe, San Antonio does not represent whenever she shows up, dude. Something bad always happens. Someone's taking a shit on the middle of the street when we're parked downtown. Someone's taking a piss in our direction. Always happens whenever I take her to San Antonio, man. Like San Antonio does not give itself a good vibe to her. I don't know why. Every time we're there, something weird happens.
Self-fulfilling prophecies, man. Self-fulfilling prophecies.
You have homeless people just screaming at the top of their lungs outside of our hotel. It always happens in San Antonio. I don't.
Where do we go to
get it.
Smashed? Let's go to Smashed on Grayson.
The burger place or the?
That's not a burger place, Mike. I mean, it's known like a burger place, but it's actually like an outdoor venue where they have a really nice patio and all that. You can get your own drinks. You can, like as far as your beers and stuff concerned, they have like a self-service thing outside where you get an ice cold mug, you pull it out of the freezer, and you just go and get you a little pour, and you pay for it right then and there.
I think,
Do you know what she liked?
Yeah.
She liked Be Kind and Rewind. They are right by the Alamo, and those little bars that are alongside them. Those
You know
little
what? You know
underground
what?
bars.
She would like Southtown, bro. Take her to Southtown. Take her to Bar Gimme. Take her to Amor Eterno. Take her to Rosario's.
Oh, I took her
that
to
whole area
Rosario's
right
last
there.
weekend. Last weekend we were at Rosario's. She likes it there.
Bro. Yeah. Southtown is the move, bro. Our guy Aaron Pena, he's dealing with cancer, man. Prayers to him. He owns Gimme and he owns Amor Eterno. Man, go out there to Southtown, bro. I think that's the move. It's right by the friendly spot. You can watch the games. You can watch games at friendly spot, and then you can roll over to fucking Gimme and
the reason I'm saying
Eterno
Smashed is because right there where Smashed is, there's like a little scene on both sides of the street where you can just work your way up and down, right? And they got little bars. Smashed is off of Grayson, dude. It's off of the address, I believe it's 520 East Grayson. But they have a little area where you can park at. They have city parking right there. And you just park right there. You just scan the QR code and boom, you just walk up the street and everything's right there within walking distance. And the cool thing is you cross the street and right across from Smashed, they have a really damn good bar, dude. It's just a no frills bar that makes damn good drinks.
Joe,
damn
Chica has a question. We went to the concert there, the Lisa and the Cult Jam, the Jets, and Color Me Bad, and Rob Bass, and Montel Jordan, all them. She asked the question, why don't the women of San Antonio get dressed up?
¿Para qué?
Because she got all dressed up. She was looking all cute, wearing heels and all that stuff. And like 99%, 95% of the people at the AT&T Center.
Where was that at? Where was it at?
At the Frost.
At the Frost? Okay. I mean, I've seen women in San Antonio dressed up, dog. I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends.
Yeah,
Depends on where they're going, man.
They're not from here, dude. That's the problem. They're all the
know.
Mexican nationals in Stone Oak that get dressed up.
They're baby mamas. They're getting away from their baby mamas and baby daddy.
What day of the month was it, dude? Because it's the first of the month,
Yeah,
and everything, bro. Child support, bro.
You know what, Joe? That's a good point. That's a very good point. Was it payday or not?
That's funny.
Because they ain't no money, dude. It's the middle of the month.
I need to chill out because I'm supposed to meet Chica in an hour at Waffle House, which is a good place to go if you have a buzz.
You trashed already, bro. You gotta go take a little nap. It's Mimi time. It's Mimi time for you, Mike. You can already tell the eyes don't lie, bro.
Oh,
I already know. The evil, you got that evil look in your eye, brother.
Chica sounds like an elitist. Mexican Gina says, no, she's not an elitist. She actually is like one of the nicest people you ever meet. She's far from elitist, but the thing is that when she wants to go out, she wants to go out. She's the kind of girl who kicks it at home 5 or 6 days out of the week, cooks every day, cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. But when she goes out, she wants to look hot, wants to go out, and wants to be out and about. She wants good drinks, badass drinks for that one night out of the week. She's not doing that 24/7 or anything like that.
And there you go. Hey, man, I was going to say, now we got Rick back. We got to go ahead and call it the show, brother.
Hey, my iPad died. So,
that's all good, bro. That's how long we had the show going already.
Yeah,
but we got to bring the show to an end.
Bro. It's a good show. Yeah.
I got to get to work. I got things to do.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I gotta
right,
go.
well.
I gotta go check out the hygienist.
There you go.
Do one of
Hey.
these while she's cleaning my teeth.
Hey.
No,
pants are
mom is
unzipped.
Mike. You're gonna be over there. You're gonna be eating. You're gonna be like, Chica, let's take this to go. Let's take this to go.
Hey,
Mhm.
man's got to do what he's got to do.
Hey, that's what I'm
Hey,
saying, bro.
nothing wrong with that, bro. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
Well,
Mike, take Chica to
Fernandez-
Grasshopper Club. No, mames, bro.
I have no idea what that is. What is
Hey,
that?
hey, you know what? We gotta do another link up with all everybody, the
The
subscribers,
homies,
like
the gente.
the homies.
Well,
Like sometime in
Fernandez-
September, let's do a weekend. Let's carve
Fernandez,
it out.
It's got to be September 7th, man, because that's the day that around that weekend or so where
Mhm.
UTSA plays Texas State. That's got to be the biggest
Ooh.
game in
Yeah, that's a big one.
the Alamo Dome
Now,
that year. So
I'm trying to go to that game. My daughter wants to go.
Yeah.
She's like, Dad, we need to go to a game together. I'm like, all right,
Well,
baby girl.
I'm gonna be drunk in the parking lot. Do I want media passes? F no. I want to be on Fireball and Bourbon.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. The people who cut my yard just showed up. Why do they bring 3 people? I don't know.
The Mexicans.
All right,
Well,
man, we gotta go.
Well, first of all, I can mow my own yard, but when I pay my rent,
Ah, Mike.
landscaping
there you go.
Hear me out, Fernandez.
There you go, there you go, there you go.
I love cutting a yard, right? I love it.
Yeah,
That's my thing. That's my jam. But when we have this house over here, part of the rent was we're gonna take care of the landscaping.
Yeah.
So
He gets you pay for it. You pay for it. So yeah.
why would I do it if it comes with the
Right.
service? But when they show up with 3 people on lawnmowers, and they're going, this is a 1-person job. Why are you doing 3 people over here? It's not an acre. It's just a normal yard. Anyway, I just saw they just popped up. They were in my backyard right now.
All right.
Fantastic. Fernandez, thanks for being on.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you guys.
I think
Shout
you're
out to
right.
everybody on the chat.
I think you're right. Having bullet before breakfast was not a good idea.
Oh, Mike. He's already mamala verga.
Hey,
All
it's
right,
a good day,
Mike.
bro. It's a good
Mimi
Friday.
time for Mike. It's Mimi time for
Maybe
Mike.
talk about-
bro.
I have the day off today, so it just is what it is. So
Yeah,
everyone have a
there you go.
fantastic day. We'll be back on Monday. Go Spurs, go! And for Gina Ortiz Jones,
Shut up, Gina. All right. We'll see you boys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Peace.
yeah.